every one of I had 6 guided journeys, 2 ayahuasca circles, 1 LSD, 1 psilocybin, 1 5-MeO DMT. And then a kind of unguided high dose psilocybin experience
at home
with
your
with my wife, yeah.
Okay.
And with the exception of that one, which was somewhat spontaneous, the night before, every one of these experiences was sleepless. I was arguing with myself. I was like, you really want to go up on this mountain with this guy you barely know, whose father was a Nazi, and allow yourself to, completely like give up control of your mind. What if you have a heart attack? I wasn't a kid. Is this guy going to call for an ambulance and risk his own freedom? You could die up there. And then this other voice saying, well, aren't you curious about this experience? This could be transformative. And by the way, you have a book to write. And
that doesn't hurt either, right? Getting you over the line?
It did, and that kind of got me over the line. I realized later that voice, the cautionary voice, was my ego trying to protect itself against an assault, and that I was about to mount on it. And of course, your ego has command of your rational faculties, so it makes really good arguments.
Right, and it manifests in all sorts of ways, right?
It's so insidious.
Oh, I just stubbed my toe. I broke my foot. I can't go.
It's a bad day. Yeah,
come up with a variety of things.
You could have, and but in every case, I got there, still very nervous and not having had any sleep. And once I got past the point of no return, and put the blotter paper on my tongue or ingested started eating the mushroom, the worry vanished, and I really was able to let go, and that surprised me. I'm very fatalistic, and I don't look back very much generally. And I knew that, okay, well, you've started, you're on the journey, might as well get with it, and I did. And in the end, it's so important to surrender to the experience. I mean, the worst thing you can do is resist what's happening, especially as you watch your ego kind of fall apart. It's a death. It's a kind of death, and you fight it. Every nerve in your body wants to fight it, but if you've been properly prepared, you're going to surrender to it and trust and let go. And I was able to do that, luckily, and I didn't get into any of those kind of resistance scenarios that we call bad trips very often.
Did you have guidance during, or just kind of before to prepare you? Look, if this happens, go with it, breathe.
So, your viewers and listeners probably know this, but there's a substantial difference between a guided psychedelic journey and the usual so-called recreational use of these drugs. In a guided journey, whether it's above ground in clinical trials at Imperial College or NYU or Johns Hopkins, or underground, where there's, at least in America, I'm sure it's true here too, there's a network of very professional underground guides, many of whom are trained therapists. There are 3 stages to it. There's the preparation, where they tell you what's going to happen and how it's going to play out to the extent that they can, and they offer you a set of flight instructions, as many of them call it, which is what to do if you see anything scary. If you see a monster, don't try to run away. Stand your ground, ask it, what does it have to teach you? What are you doing in my mind? If you see a staircase, go up it. If you see a door, open it. Basically surrender to the experience, relax your mind and float downstream, as John Lennon memorably put it, in Tomorrow Never Knows. And
you actually do get better at this process, don't you, the more you do?
Well, those skills, you internalize that advice, and certainly later when I did have some difficult experiences, I could call on those mantras, trust and let go, and surrender, and it can be very helpful. So that's really useful. They also very often will ask you to set an intention. So do you want to deal with your mortality in the case of the cancer patients in that trial? Do you want to quit an addiction? And in my case, I didn't have a problem I wanted to fix. I wanted to just learn more about my mind and learn whatever this substance had to teach me.